The first question you might have is, what is a sampling method? Well, sampling methods are the ways a sample is chosen to survey a population. The sample population is a part of the entire population that is sampled when size will simply not allow you to sample the entire population. Remember, the main goal is that the sample population is representative of the entire population. Well, that means you're not going to just pick and choose who's part of your sample. Instead, you do something called random sampling, which means every person in the population has an equal chance of being chosen. Let's look at an example of this. For example, if you were to survey students from your school to see what type of sports team they would like added, well, how would you choose this sample population? Well, a poor method would be to survey all the students in the 8th grade Algebra 1 class. Now, being in 8th grade and Algebra 1, these are obviously students that like math. Well, that does not, unfortunately, represent all 8th graders. Some students don't like math, and they should have an equal ability to be chosen to be part of this sample of the population. So there's got to be a better method, and there is. A good method would be to survey every fifth person from all class rosters. That way, folks that like math can be chosen, and the people in the class that don't like math, well, they also have an equal chance of being chosen. So this is a better representation of that entire class. Another aspect of sampling you have to worry about is preventing bias. Now, what is bias? Well, that's when an individual's opinion or preference influences the results of a sample. For instance, an example of this would be the Pepsi Corporation is conducting a taste test to see whether customers prefer Pepsi or Coke. Well, obviously, the person conducting the survey, if they work for the Pepsi Corporation, has a bias towards Pepsi. So in order to prevent this bias, the test should be double blind. Now, what does double blind mean? Well, that means whenever that person is given samples, well, the person drinking the samples, as well as the person administering the test, should not know which cup will be filled with Pepsi or Coke. So you more or less have to involve a third person because, again, you've got to try to prevent bias.